Hello and welcome to BizMums members Twitter Networking Hour webinar. I hope you can all hear me okay. So I'll just put the chat on. So if you've got any questions or if you've got any problems, if you can't hear me or anything like that throughout the webinar, then you can just type in the chat box and then we can all communicate that way, because sometimes when I'm doing these webinars I just kind of feel like I'm talking to myself. So it's just good to have the chat on to reassure me really that you're all there and you can all hear. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Twitter networking hours. So they're a great way of networking online. So I'll just go to my next slide. So a little bit about the history of the networking hours. Twitter started in 2009, so it's one of the new kids on the blocks in regards to kind of social networking and that type of thing. And in our talks at the event and in our webinar next Tuesday, we'll be going into Twitter in a lot more detail and around, the purpose of Twitter and what you can benefit from it as a whole. But these specific networking hours can be really useful, but they can also be very, very confusing. And they're a relatively new concept. They started in 2012, and the first one to start was one called Yorkshire Hour. And it was around that time that I was looking to set up a business. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do. I knew it was something in the world of coaching, training, that type of thing. That's what my passion was, and that's what I really enjoy doing. So that's what I wanted to do. So I started to set up a business called Your Steps to Success. And I had a Twitter profile in that name, and I was using Twitter to promote my business and to kind of make new contacts. And I was looking for a way to connect with other people in the Shropshire area. And I stumbled across Yorkshire Hour and thought, okay, well, perhaps this could be quite good for Shropshire, maybe. So I put a couple of tweets out just asking really if people would be interested in doing something similar. And a couple of people came back and said yes, they would. And Shropshire Hour was born, and that was in the beginning of November 2012. And I set up Shropshire Hour and a Shropshire Hour profile, which is still on Twitter. I honestly, at the moment, don't do anything with it. I might pick it up in the future, but it's like everything. You have to be consistent with it, and I don't want it to be something that I just do from time to time and not do well. I'd rather just kind of leave it sitting there for now, dormant, and then at some point, if you search Shropshire Hour on Twitter, for the actual profile Shropshire Hour, you'll see it's got tweets by Michelle at BizMums, and so I'm hoping that people will see that and then kind of divert back to my main Twitter profile, which is the @BizMums Twitter. So anyway, diverse off the subject a little bit then. But yes, so when we started Shropshire Hour, it was fantastic, and there wasn't many other networking hours like that. Fast forward 18 months, and it's gone off the scale. Networking hours are just everywhere. You cannot go probably 1 hour in a day where you cannot network online in some capacity on Twitter. So it's pretty good. So some examples, first of all, of the types of networking hours that you can get involved with. So you can use geographical networking hours. So these ones are for your types of areas you are. So we've got Shropshire Hour, we've got Cheshire Hour, we've got Staffordshire Hour, there's West Midlands Hour, there's North Wales Hour, there's England Hour, there's Wales. You get the picture. There is an hour for every place in the country at some point in the week, and that's fab. And these are a good way of meeting and following and tweeting with local people to you. So what we're going to do in a minute is I'm going to go live onto Twitter, and you'll be able to see my screen, and I'm going to start doing some live tweeting. So if you're able to log in and use your Twitter as well now, it'd be fab if you can kind of come onto the same hours, because I know tonight running between 8 and 9 is Warrington Hour, Manchester Hour, Merseyside Hour, I think 11 Hour, something like that. So we're going to try and get in on those ones and have a look as well, see if we can find some other ones, and I'll show you some ways of finding out hours there are. And I'm going to put together as well a list. So I started compiling it today. It's a really up-to-date list of all the hours. I mean, it's bonkers. It'll blow your mind, but it's great. So we'll do that in a minute. So those are geographical ones. There are also some daily ones. So these run every single day of the working week. So there's UK Biz Lunch. That's 12 till 1. There's hashtag Biz Hour, which is 1 till 2. So do you see what I mean by you can network every hour of the day? There's hashtag B2B Hour, which is 3 till 4. So I guess you have a bit of a break, pick the kids up from school, get back onto your Twitter networking. There's industry hours. So there's one called Job Hour, which is for people that are trying to find jobs. There's Fashion Hour. There's Blogging Hour. There's, for your specific industry, you'll be able to find an hour where you can then network and follow with people in your industry. That's a great way for growing your contacts, for growing your knowledge, for following people who are influential in your industry, following people who you would like to emulate and what they're doing on Twitter, that type of thing. There is special interests as well. So there's an hour Tuesday from 8 till 9. Hashtag GP Hour it's not about doctors, what you might think. It's Google Plus Hour. So between 8 and 9 on the Tuesday night, you can hashtag GP Hour, and you can get some tips and advice on Google Plus, and you can have people that to help to follow you on Google Plus, join your circles on Google Plus. Google Plus to me is like talking gobbledygook at the moment, but we are going to be doing some training and stuff on that soon, and it's something that I know I need to get onto a lot more. So that type of thing will help when you're trying to get established. There's a follow hour, which is 3 till 4 on a Tuesday, and that way you can go in follow hour and you can get more followers for your Twitter. There's SM Hour, which is 12 till 2 on a Wednesday, where you can ask or you can offer help with social media. So you kind of get the picture. There's all these different hours in different interests as well that you can have. And there's full days of hours as well. So on Tuesday, there's Charity Tuesday. I think there's different ones, different days. But like I said, I could sit here all night and read you out every specific hour and tell you about that, but you can work it out for yourself, and everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to need different hours for their business. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just quickly explain how it works, and then I'll put that list in the members group later, and you can have a look for yourself and spend some time working out which hours are the best for you to invest your time in. Because like every other thing in social media, it is your time that you're going to have to put into this, and it's an investment. So you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time in the wrong hours or with networking with the wrong people. So how it works, basically what we do is during the specified time, so tonight between 8 and 9, you write some tweets and you use the hashtag. So, for example, if it's Shropshire Hour, we use the hashtag Shropshire Hour. How is everyone tonight? That could be your first tweet. So I think the best thing to do now is to get up here and for me to switch screens, and I will go on Twitter and let me find my desk. Here we are. So hopefully now, let me just check. Yep, so you should be able to see my Twitter now. Can you just put in the chat if you can see your... Let me just tick this button. Oh, there we go. Tammy's already... I've got a chat from Tammy Fab saying that she's already on 12 hours at the same time listening. Fantastic. That's great. Paula, I have no idea what I'm doing on this. Don't worry, just listen. That's what you need to do. So you should be able to see my Twitter now on there. And I will go on to that now. Just bear with me a second. So here I am on my Twitter. So what we can do is you can search in the bar here. So at the moment it should be hashtag Warrington Hour. So if you know the hour that you're looking for, you can search for it in this top box here. So we can put in hashtag Warrington Hour and then search. to wait a second for it to load up. And then what will happen, it will bring up all the tweets that are happening now on Warrington Hour. Oh, I've just noticed I've got 1,999 followers, so we're going to have to change that now. I need one more follower to make me up to 2,000. So that's pretty cool. We'll do that in a minute. Not responding and being slow. Technical hitch. Okay. Let's try it in this one. No, I've just took the page. Right, okay, so here we go. So we've got Warrington Hour here. So it's come up, you can either have the top tweets for Warrington Hour, which gives you the tweets that are most retweeted, or the ones that are coming up. But really, to get it in the proper order, you want to change it to all, because this will give you the most recent tweets there. So if you can see people like to go 4 minutes ago, and they're putting in their Warrington Hour. So we can join in with this. If my internet wasn't so slow. I knew that doing live tweeting on a webinar was going to be risky. But I like a challenge, what can I say? So I was going to give it a go. So it'll come up with all the tweets in a minute. You can see the type of thing that people are tweeting about here. This is probably a good time for me to talk about the changes that the networking hours have seen over the past 18 months. So when we first started Shropshire Hour back in November 2012, you can see now this is the most recent tweets that are here now. So this is, giving us the top ones. When we first started, it was great, very, very chatty. Everyone was in it to talk to each other, and that's what you need to understand coming into these networking hours. It's about building relationships. All social media, it's about engagement, it's about building relationships online, and a lot of that has been taken away by people who have abused these networking hours by spamming them. So what you'll see, if you can see this one here, so you've got Storage King in with Storage King. So they're good evening all, great to be part of Warrington Hour. How is your week been? So perfect. That's exactly the type of thing that you should be putting into networking hours. It's about having a conversation. So what we can do is we can reply to that, and we could say, good evening Storage King, first time on hashtag Warrington Hour. We're actually, I'm gonna put, I'm actually from Shrewsbury, but I know Sarah from Storage King in Shrewsbury, so that's building up a relationship with them. So let's just type this in. So hi there, it's my and then I'm going to put if I can fit it in. Oh, I'll just leave it at that for a minute, because I can just put I'm from Shrewsbury. So that's great, because I've got something in common with them there. So that's going to start up hopefully a good tweeting conversation with them, because hopefully then they'll reply back to my tweets, and that's what it's all about. What you'll find a lot on the networking hours is that you'll get just like the one here, need workwear printed for your business, ask us for a quote. Great, okay. latest planning tenders, yeah, but they're just spammy. And if that's all that you're going to put on there, and it's great, it's great to have, obviously you've got to promote your business at some point, but don't make it the first thing that you put. And some people put this the only thing that they put. And what you might see is as well, I'm just trying to find anyone here. Here you go. So Peter Dean, here he is. Say, hope you're keeping it local this week. That's fab because that's promoting local businesses. So these are the types of thing. Here we go. So we've got Angie Stewart who's been promoting. She's one of our members. So she's been promoting the networking hours for this evening. So that's brilliant. That's what we want to see. It's not about just coming on and just saying what you do and not interacting with anybody else. And that's really, really important. So what you can do then, you can look for new results. I'll just check that you can all actually see what I'm doing. I hope this is working. So if we just load that up. So now that's brought up some more now. So that's sort of 39 seconds ago. So yeah, these people are putting in offers. That's great, but there isn't much interaction. But you know, ask questions. Talk about the last time you were on it, or if it's your first time, it's great to kind of be there and to say that it's your first time, or if you're coming back on again, you know, great to see you again. Those types of things. Just chatting as if you would. This is a bit annoying here. This is what I wanted to demonstrate to you. So at the moment we have Liverpool Hour, Warrington Hour and Lancashire Hour all happening at the same time. So this person has decided that they would just kind of spam really. And yeah, okay, it might be interesting, some trivia for you who knows, you know, a bit of a question. Okay, it's not as bad as what some people do. But really, if you're going to be in a networking hour, just be in one at a time. And if you're going to dip in and out of certain ones at certain times, and just make sure that perhaps you just keep it to that networking hour, your tweets, because otherwise it just becomes impersonal, and people will read through that and they'll see that. So the way that you can then see your notifications, so up in this corner, so here I've got one notification now. So if I click on that, it would then bring up perhaps if someone's replied to me, and if I haven't actually done my own tweet yet, have I, for work time? So we'll do that in a second. Let me just get up this notification. I don't see if it was quicker on this browser. So is anybody else on Twitter now? Can you do a tweet into Warrington Hour maybe, if you wanted just to have a go? Ah, Donna, there we go. I can see Donna. She's done a tweet. Fantastic. Super. Right, okay, so Donna's tweeted. That's it. Fantastic. So what we can do now is we can do, so I'm just going to do a tweet. Hopefully this will give you the general gist. Hopefully your computer isn't as slow as mine, and you could do it a bit faster than me. But this kind of just gives you the general idea of what you're doing. And if you've got questions about anything specifically, then just type them into that chat bar, and I can go back into that now and just have a look and see if anybody's got any questions that we answer while we're actually online. So what we'd normally do, if it would work, would be to compose a new tweet there and put, "Good evening, Warrington Hour. It's my first time on Warrington Hour. Great to tweet with you," something like that. I normally, questions I normally ask are there any mums on Warrington Hour tonight? because I want to connect with mums. Or I was in Warrington on Monday this week at one of our events. What a great town, that type of thing. Just to keep it relevant to that specific networking hour. If it's because it's Shropshire Hour, I love, and I do Shropshire Hour still a little bit, because it's a lot more relevant, because we can talk about what's going on. You can talk about local events that are happening. So we had the carnival in Shrewsbury, so you could talk about that. You could talk about the weather. We had a couple of months ago, we had some really bad storms. Well, I think it was like a national thing, but particularly Shropshire. And on Shropshire that night, everybody was talking about the storms and those types of things. So it goes back to what you should be business to personal is that 80-20 split. So for every 10 tweets that you do, you should be 8 tweets which are non-business related, 2 tweets that are. And you can mix business and pleasure together as such, as long as it's keeping it that way. It's not. They can be business related sort of pleasure tweets, but as long as they're not, promotional tweets. So you're not doing 8 tweets, same by that, look at this, look at that, that type of thing. More sort of chatty tweets is what we're looking for in the networking hours to become a good networker. Okay, so now it's totally not working. So I'll go back to my PowerPoint anyway. I think it's the best thing. But hopefully that's given you an idea of being in the Twitter hours and how that will work. And it's like everything, the best thing that you do is just to get on there and have a go. Don't be scared of it, because it's not all scary. It can be really, really fun. It's just think about it as just making friends online, and thinking and making connections with new friends. So I'll just get my other screen back up. Okay, fab. So, yeah, so tips from getting the best from Twitter networking. So it's engaging in conversations. So either starting conversations or answering people's questions. If there are people that are looking to engage, they're the best people to try and strike up a conversation with them. What you'll find is that the spammy tweets, a lot of them are scheduled as well, and that's a real big no-no. If you're going to be doing a networking hour, be there. It can be really, really tempting to just schedule a tweet in, but then if someone tries to engage with you and you're not there, it just looks awful. So don't be tempted to do that. Show an interest in others, so asking them how you can help them, show an interest in their business, just general networking 101 really, and it applies online as well as face-to-face. So as I already mentioned, the 80-20 personal business ratio. So a little about you. It's you. You're representing your business. You are your business. So don't hide behind that. Don't be thinking, oh, I can only talk about my industry things, or I can't talk about the fact that I took my dog for a walk and it ran off this afternoon and chased a rabbit or something like that. Because if that is what has happened to you and that's of interest, then share it. It's absolutely fine. People want to know who you are and get to know you, and that's really important, and that will bring strength to your business, and that will attract people to your business because they will know you, like you, trust you, and want to do business with you. And it's the little personal things that you share that help to bring that to your business. So once people you've had conversation, the key then is to follow those people. Hopefully they'll follow you back as well, and that's what it's all about. That's what we want, and it's keeping in touch with them after the networking. So I'm so cross that my Twitter won't work, because what I could show you now, if it would work, is something which I call the lists. So you can go into, I think if you go into profile section, and I'll do another screencast about this when my internet's not slow, to show how to do this. But basically you can put people into a list, so you can save them under, so you could have a whole one for networking hours, or you could break it down. So you could have a Shropshire Hour list. So these are the people that you talk to on Shropshire Hour. So when you're on Twitter, your news feed will get really busy. Oh, excuse me. With lots of all the people that you follow in this news feed, and sometimes it can become overwhelming, and you could get bogged down and think, oh, I can't read all this stuff. And all you're really interested in is building the relationships with the people that you've started to engage with. That's where you're going to get the most from this. So by putting them into a list, you can click on that list and it will just bring up so it kind of filters out all the noise and makes it a lot more of a clearer way of finding out what people are up to. So you could do one, you know, you could have one if you do Shropshire. There are already actually some lists that are public that you can actually join as well. Or you could have, if you're doing a holistic hour or something like that, you could have all the people that you talk to in that specific one for your industry. Although if there are, I used to have a list, so I've still got one actually, but I need to update it, which was called influentials. So these are people that are influential that I want to follow me, who don't currently follow me. And so the best way to get people like that to follow you is to engage in them, to retweet their tweets, to talk to them online, you know, share stuff with them, so and to get on their radar. And that's what makes Twitter such an amazing tool. It's really, really easy to kind of get through to people as such that you might not necessarily be able to in other ways. Just by following them and by showing an interest in them, they will start to notice you, and networking hours can help with that as well. And keep in touch after networking. So find other ways you can connect. So share your Facebook page, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, so that you can follow them on other platforms as well as Twitter. So yeah, so that's kind of the main things really. So after the networking, the key is get to just keeping that to those relationships. It's all networking, face-to-face or online. It's what you do afterwards that's important, because if you don't keep that relationship and you don't connect with that person, within a day they've forgotten who you are. And that's the same as when you come to a BizMums event or any networking event. You know, you meet someone, and if you don't speak to them in between, the next time you see them, it's like having to pick up that again. So I'm just having a quick read down the chat thing here. So Leanne's replied to someone else's tweet. Yay, well done. Well, it takes 4 weeks to get to 100. Well, that's it. Well, I've been on Twitter for nearly 2 years now, so you get there gradually. It takes time. Well, Paula, that's fine. It does, you know, a little bit of everything. Just as long as you're mixing it up, as long as you've got some normal chat as well, then that's absolutely fine. Just mix it up, nice and chatty. Just trying to get down to Tammy's. Does anyone know what it means? Favourite one of your tweets. Okay. Someone favourite a tweet. It gives them a notification to tell that they favourite it. So again, that can kind of you on radar a little bit. But in your settings in Twitter, there's actually a favourites section, and we'll have a list of all that you favorited. So I kind of use it as a bookmark. So something that I tweet right now, I'll put it there. If there's a call, perhaps I'll read, there's a link to a blog post or on someone's Facebook page, and I'm not ready to write that, I want to get a bit later, I'll favorite it and then put that into that, so you can go back at a later date. So that's it all. So if someone's favoriting one of your tweets, typically either they're just giving it a bit of a like on Facebook, so oh yeah, I like this, or it might be that they're just bookmarking it for a later date. I'll just scroll down these chats. If anybody's got any more questions, then we will. I can answer them now. So I know there was a little bit of delay on this chat. But what I'm going to start doing as well, we're going to start doing a bit of a BizMums hour as well. It's something that I've shied away from doing because I just haven't had the time to use Twitter recently with having the new baby and everything. So it's like everything, you have to be on there, you have to engage and you have to be consistent. Unfortunately for me, the BizMums Twitter profile does get used by other people tweeting and using the @BizMums in their tweets. So it's kind of it's kind of just runs itself at the moment without me having to do too much on it, which is brilliant, and I'm very, very lucky for that. But I do want to start using it more, and I will start doing a BizMums hour at one point in the week. Too sure when. I might do a couple, I might do a daytime one, I might do an evening one. But I just know that a lot of the BizMums find Twitter very, very confusing and aren't on there as much as they are on Facebook, which is why I've concentrated my efforts on Facebook, because that's what's been working well. I do like Twitter, and I think it's got its uses, in the networking hours especially are really, really good. Yeah, and if I put on a Twitter tweet and the retweet it, if someone else retweets it and favourites it, well, just if I've understood that wrong, then just send me another message. But if someone retweets it and favourites it, you don't have to do anything really. But out of courtesy and out of relationship building, then it would probably be good to tweet them back. So thanks for the favourite or thanks for the retweet. That's the way to kind of build up the relationships. And you don't have to do it with every single retweet that you get, but it's good to do it from time to time, and it helps because that other person, it's that reciprocal thing that, if you do something nice for somebody, they'll do something nice for you, and that's another way of kind of building the relationships online. And we'll probably go into that in a little more detail in the Tuesday night webinar when we're going into the Twitter kind of etiquette and the way to do Twitter. But yeah, just tweet someone back and say thanks for that. They will want to do it again then, because they've had something back from you. So was that what you meant? Hopefully. But if you've got any more questions on any of this, then we can have a chat in the BizMums group. I'm not going anywhere tonight because luckily my boys have gone out to watch the football. So if you're watching this recorded, tonight was the night that England are playing in the World Cup. So I'm glad to have escaped with some lovely BizMums instead and had some peace. So so I'm available in the members group just to ask any questions that you've got. If you want to have a little try on Twitter, and I'll be on Twitter as well, we can do some tweeting. But I hope you found that useful, and there will be recordings if you want to watch it back, and then you can do that. Fab, Leanne's given me a big yes, super duper. Right, like I say, Tuesday night we've got a webinar with Lynn Seraphin. She wrote a book called Tweepylicious. So if you get a chance to have a check that out for the webinar, that's a fantastic book, and it's massive. Twitter, there's so much that you can say about it and learn about it. We could do webinars like this for a week, so that's what I've tried to keep this one just like the networking hours. And like I say, just get on there and have a go. And then Lynn will be going through in a lot more detail on Tuesday night about Twitter as a whole, and a lot to do with etiquette and how to market yourself on there. So I look forward to tweeting you and speaking to you on Facebook and being in the webinar on Tuesday. Thanks, ladies. Bye.